companies that affect our youth because of betting and addiction pay a sin tax. There is private benefit and social disadvantage. In most countries, there's what they call environmental levy of polluter pays. If you pollute the environment, we will require you to pay for the pollution. In economics, we call it Pigovian taxes. The other approach, again, the government can do deliberately and outright is what we call sometimes the sin tax. Sin tax. The one who commits a sin pays the tax for that sin. So you pay a sin tax. That companies that cause challenges to society, companies that affect our youth because of betting and addiction, pay a sin tax. Pay a tax for causing these challenges. And therefore, this tax discourages them from the wrongs they do to society. You see, I can explain a sin tax like this. Companies that sell tobacco, that sell cigarettes, for example, pay a tax. This tax is a sin tax that you are paying for causing a social problem. You are paying for causing society a problem. So you pay a tax. This tax will help society to address the evils that you have caused. You have heard also of polluter pays. If you pollute the environment, we will require you to pay for the pollution. So that we use this money to do good things as government addressing environmental issues. In most countries, there's what they call environmental levy. Environmental levy is a form of tax to discourage importing vehicles of a certain age, which have more fumes, which could pollute our environment. So you pay that tax. And that is important, that the sinner pays for his sins, that the polluter pays for his pollution, that the one who has brought to smoking and is going to cause us disease pays for address. And we use that money for health. We use that money for services that can address societies that are affected by your evils, but what you have done that has affected society. Because you know, in business and in economics, there is private benefit and social disadvantage. Somebody will get more profit from doing his business, but which business affects the well-being of society? So we want to address that. In economics, we call it Pigovian taxes. Pigovian taxes. Pigu was a British economist who suggested taxes to address the effects caused by companies or businesses on society. That you have done something that affects society, so you will pay to address it. So we should begin charging sin tax, polluter pays. We should begin charging Pigovian taxes. You pollute the environment, we charge you. We charge you for your sins. Also, the government can, again working with some of these companies, establish skilling youth, skilling and employment readiness programs, so that the youth are engaged in these programs and they occupy them, they avoid redundancy, they avoid being available so they can end up betting and going to see every sport and wasting time. And once they finish this skilling and employment readiness program, they begin to look, search, and get jobs and begin working and earning. And this is a positive one. But also, we need the faith groups, the religious groups, to begin to come in and encourage families and their children and their youth. Those who spend more time in their faith, in their religious groups, sometimes they grow with some kind of community. They grow with some kind of behavior. They grow with some manners. And in those religious and faith groups, they are told sometimes what is good, how to live positively, but also the community. We call upon the community to have community programs that make youth not redundant, have time when they are doing exercises, physical exercises, teaching each other, mentoring each other, being mentored and mentoring, and these programs are good. But the other important one also is at family level. Please teach your children to grow in the manners that and behaviors that are positive. Tell them what is right and wrong. Most of your families, you have left your children to the teachers at school. You don't have time for your children. You think the teachers will give them everything they need to behave at home, to behave in school, and later to behave in life. You are wrong. The teachers will play their role, and the families and the parents should play their role, building and nurturing and grooming gentlemen and ladies, and society in future will need gentlemen and ladies to lead society, to manage society, to run businesses, to be leaders, to be presidents, to be first ladies, to be prime ministers, to be ministers, to be permanent secretaries, to be senior people in the government, to be CEOs in the government and in private sector. And this is important. You should do it as families. But last step for me is planned families. Planned families is important. Gone are the days we can no longer in developing countries with levels of finance, with levels of business, with levels of and availability of work and expenses, incomes and expenses, levels of investment and savings. We cannot afford to have unplanned families. Unplanned families affect our health as mothers and fathers. Unplanned families affect our financial health as parents, as families. And unplanned families affect how we live in life and whether we enjoy life experiences. You have more children that you cannot manage, that need education. Education becomes expensive. They need food, they need clothing, they need basics of life, and they're expensive. So you live as a pauper. You live as a beggar because you decided to have a family that is not planned. Ladies and gentlemen, there is more than I can mention in this part. There is more than I have given you the basics, I've given you the keys I know, but there are other things that I don't know that you know, which are important to groom children who will be future gentlemen and ladies and future leaders and managers, and will move society to the next level. You need to discuss with them. Government needs to play a role. The businesses which are involved in different sectors that need to play a role. And also, sports is good, games are good, soccer is good, NBA is good, but let's look at it as a business. Let's look at it as employment. Let's look at it as leisure. I always tell you, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to enjoy life experiences. Make money, enjoy life, and live happy and die happy.